Here in Keynote, I've got a presentation open and I'm just going to give you a really quick tour of the interface. In the center of the screen, you'll see your presentation. On the left-hand side, you'll see your slides, at least when you're in most views, and you can skip through all the different slides down there. Each of the slides will have a little blue corner marker to indicate there's a transition, if indeed that slide has a transition. You can select things in the middle, and whatever you've got selected will be reflected in this pane on the side. This pane has three different areas. Format and Animate will reflect whatever you've got selected, and the third one, Document, doesn't really change. Now, Format is where you'll spend a lot of your time, and you'll use these subpages within Format, which at the moment are Style, Text, and Arrange, and they will change a little bit depending on the kind of object you have selected. It may not look like a lot of controls, but there's a lot of stuff hidden here. So under Style, for example, I could open out Border, and then I could open out Shadow, and then under Border, choose another option, and you'll see there's a lot going on here, more than it seems at first glance. So if you want to change how something looks, it will be in that Format pane somewhere. Along the top of the screen, you have a series of buttons. Now, these three we've already looked at. They'll choose a different section for the inspector, and choosing one you've already got open will hide the inspector completely. Starting from the left then, you can choose to work in different views and show and hide various additional things. So we'll be using outline mode soon. It's also how you access the master slides, the templates for each one of these slides on the left here. You can see a list of objects on the page, which is pretty fascinating, or hide it if you don't want it. And you can also show or hide the presenter notes. So if you wanted to remind yourself of what you're going to say on this slide, then you can do that too. There's a zoom control. There is a fit option. You can also use not Command plus and minus, but Command Shift, comma, and dot to zoom between different sizes. Okay, so that's Command Shift, the comma and dot, which is like the greater than and less than signs. But you'll probably sit in Fit Slide View most of the time. You can add new slides here, you can start the presentation there, and you can add various kinds of things to your presentation from this menu up here. So, for example, if I wanted to add a slide after this, I could add a slide, pick the template I want to use, just maybe a plain background, and I could add a shape like this. And then a photo like this. Now, there's some additional buttons here which I've got which aren't normally in the list, Alpha and Connect, and you can add them in if you want them. You can right-click on the toolbar and choose to customize it. And that's where you can bring in a whole heap of extra buttons if you think they might be useful to you. So if you want buttons to make text bigger and smaller, if you're going to use superscript and subscript a lot, then add those. But I would definitely recommend bringing in Instant Alpha, which was in the list a long time ago, and also Connect, which adds a connection line. So just drag that up into the toolbar to add it there. There are other things you can experiment with as well. But the connection line, which we're going to explore later, lets you join two elements like this, and it'll stay connected, which is completely awesome if you plan to build any diagrams or flowcharts. Now, there's many menus along the top of the screen, as you'd expect, and things are generally where you'd expect to find them. If you want to adjust what you see, then you use the View menu. If you want different options for playing the video back, they're in the Play menu. File has your saving and duplicating, and holding down the Option key there to get the proper traditional Save As command instead of duplicate. And of course, Edit for copy and paste and all the variations there. Now, we'll come to the menus as we go through them, but that's the basics of the user interface. To get started, in the next video though, I'm going to show you how to make a new presentation from scratch.